Evander Berry Wall, January 14, 1861, May 4, 1940, was a New York City socialite and later an American expatriate in France during the Belle Époque and beyond. He was famous for his extravagantly refined look and was crowned King of the Dudes in the 1880s. Evander was the son of Charles Wall and Elizabeth A. Wall. He was the grandson of William Wall, who was mayor of what was then Williamsburg, New York, now part of New York City, and who developed a prosperous rope-making business there. In 1830, Wall Rope Works. When Berry was 11, his grandfather died, and Wall Rope Works was then run by Berry's father and his siblings. Unfortunately, Berry's father also died just 8 years later in 1879. The 1880 U.S. Census shows Berry living with his widowed mother and his occupation as cordage manufacturer. At the age of 19, his siblings were James R. Wall and Louise Berry Wall Ladue, Mrs. Edward R. Ladue. Evander was raised as a wealthy New Yorker. At the age of 16, he owned his first racehorse. He inherited $2 million before the age of 22. Wall became a leader of the American Cafe Society, a group of rich socialites. Wall married Salome Lomi Melbourne on December 16, 1887 in Baltimore. She was born July 4, 1867, in St. Joseph, Missouri, the daughter of William Fiskey Melbourne and Josephine Chetmal Bowen. Wall was a clothes-horse. He generally wore a very extraordinary costume, such as the one pictured on the right. A dust coat of a reddish Havana brown, a suit made of a large gray shepherd plaid check, extremely wide trousers tapered at the ankle, and turned up several inches to display white spats and highly varnished shoes. A startling striped shirt in red sky blue, with very high false collar of a pattern different from the shirts, a striped vest, and a widely spread stop cravat. He was popularly credited with the possession of over 500 trousers and 5,000 neckties. Wall was first proclaimed King of the Dudes at the resort town of Long Branch, New Jersey in the summer of 1883. Wall was again proclaimed King of the Dudes in 1888 by the New York American newspaper. A journalist named Blakely Hall judged that Wall had won the Battle of the Dudes against Robert Bob Hilliard, another sartorial dude, when, during the March blizzard of 1888, he strode into a bar clad in gleaming boots of patent leather that went to his hip. Nevertheless, some historians still consider it was Hilliard who won that dude battle. Wall won another fashion contest in August 1888 in Saratoga Springs, New York, to win a bet against John Benamillion Gates. Wall changed clothes 40 times between breakfast and dinner. He appeared on the racetrack in one flashy ensemble after the other until, exhausted but victorious, he at last entered the ballroom of the United States Hotel in faultless evening attire. Ever the fashion leader, Wall is credited for having been the first person in the United States to wear a dinner jacket tuxedo to a ball. The white ensemble had been sent to him by the London Savile Row tailor Henry Poular, to be worn for a quiet dinner at home or at an evening's entertainment at a summer resort. This was a time when tailcoat was still the rule, and Wall was immediately ordered off the floor. Wall's financial life was not as successful as his fashion life. An ill-conceived stockbroking career and additional failures as a stable owner ended in an 1809 bankruptcy. Wall finally declared that New York had become fit only for businessmen and left for Paris in 1912. Whether in Paris, Deauville, Biarritz, or Aix, Les Bains, Wall and his wife were famous members of the European social elite. Their social circle included the Duchess of Windsor, the Grand Duke Dmitry of Russia, the Aga Khan, and ex-King Nicholas of Montenegro, whom Wall called a magnificent old darling. He lived in a suite in the Hotel Meurice with a consecutive string of chow dogs named Chi. This was located conveniently near the bespoke shirtmaker Charvet, where Wall had his signature spread eagle collar shirts and cravats custom, made for himself and his dog. Wall always dined at the Ritz with his dog, whose collars and ties were made by Chervet in the same style and fabric as his masters. During World War I, the Walls stayed in France and put all their social connections to use. For their fundraising efforts on behalf of wounded servicemen, each of the Walls was awarded the French Legion of Honor Medal. Wall wrote his memoirs in his late 70s, and they were published after his death in 1940. His wife had died in 1936. In neither pest nor Puritan, Wall ascribed his longevity to the fact he never saw physicians and always drank champagne instead of water, claiming that there are more old drunkards than there are old doctors. He noted that, "I keep reminding myself as I draw nearer my last great duty, the obligation upon me to thank the God I believe in for the gift of life." When he died, he left only $12,608, having squandered nearly every cent on pleasure.